Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps SRE DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNCs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you.
Okay, so today I'm going to talk about JMeter. Can you see my screen, all of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, so JMeter is a tool using we test the performance of the any applications. Okay, it can be HTTP based application, API based application, or something like that. It can be database also. Okay, but primarily we are using for the web performance. Okay, so if you want to check the performance of the website, then you can use JMeter. So the problem what we have is like, let's say you want to release the product in the market, and then you want to see that where if 10,000 people are hitting your website, so what should be the average response time? Okay, for the user, is it whether it's a 1 second or 10 second, considering the same infrastructure. So you will not be able to get this 10,000 users before launch. So you have to fake it out. You have to fake it out means you need to um, you need to do this fake traffic, and that will create a that will create a fake traffic on your website, and then you will get to know all the information. So that is called performance testing. So before that, let's understand what is a performance testing. So performance testing uh, uh, is a way to test how an application or resources perform under a given load to see impact. Okay, so that is something which you call it a performance testing. Now, performance testing is done after functional testing, and functional testing, the tool which we covered for this is JMeter, if you remember that. Okay, sorry, Selenium. So Selenium, last session which you had a Selenium, which is used for the functional testing, and now we have a performance testing. Okay, so in order to understand the performance testing, you need to understand what is a response time, what is the throughput, what is the reliability, scalability, and so on. So these are the terms which we use in while performance testing. So response time is equal to the request time plus processing time plus response time from the application, and including network latency. So all this thing you can call it a response time. So when you hit a website, let's say www.deposchool.com, and how much time it has taken to process that request, that we call it a response time. Okay, throughput, again throughput you have in two ways. One is in terms of traffic, and the one is in terms of byte exchange. So throughput, which is nothing but the number of transactions, it can be request and response, and by unit of time, it can be millisecond and second. This can be covered in the bytes also. So bytes sent and received total by unit of time, millisecond and per second. Reliability, which is we can count using number of errors by total number of requests, and whatever you get it, it's reliability score. And scalability, which includes all these parameter, response time, throughput, percentage of error. So these are the terminologies which you need to understand. There are two types of scalability which we perform. One is vertical scalability, and one is a horizontal scalability. So vertical scalability, that means you are running the application. How many number of nodes? So you have 5 nodes now, it may be 15 nodes. That's called vertical. Horizontal scalability, probably you can consider like Kubernetes. Let's say you are running a 10 pod and you want to replicate to the 15 pods considering same infrastructure. So that is a horizontal scalability. Okay, so what are the requirement for the performance testing? So you want to know what the average maximum response time should be. Second thing which you want to know is like, you want to know the system should be able to support this pages per second. And the third answer you want to know through the performance testing, the system should be capable of supporting at least this number of users per hour. So these are the requirement for performance testing. Okay, so how do we start this performance testing process? So you have to design and build the test, which I'll teach you. Prepare the test environment, run the test, analyze the results, optimize and retest it. So this is something which can be done. So now Jmeter is not a browser perform based performance testing. Okay, is it will not execute JavaScript. So you have to be knowing that it will not execute JavaScript. So yeah, any real time performance testing is not possible using Jmeter, because in the real time what happens, JavaScript also get loaded and be a part of the system. So you can think of Jmeter as a tool to perform multiple server requests, and this server request is at network level. Okay, it's not at the JavaScript or some other thing, but network IP address and port number, it hits and get you the results. Okay, so what are the types of performance testing which we have? So types of performance testing, before that, how do you generate a load? So you can increase the number of users, or one users only, you can increase the number of requests. So these are the different types of performance test. We have smoke test, which we use for mainly for verifications. Load test we do, so we can see that how much load it can sustain, and after that the this load, the system will break. Okay, stress test we do. Stress test means we keep increasing the load and see that if you create a stress kind of environment, how was the response time for applications. A spike test, suddenly you spike to the too high, and then suddenly you spike to the too low, and then you want to see how your application is performing. An endurance test means at a certain number of users which you are creating a traffic with, and then you see that what is the response from the applications. So these are the things we have to remember. In order to understand the performance testing, you need to know what is the response time, throughput, reliability, scalability, and also how to plan your performance testing process. Are you comfortable with it? Any question?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, so these are the test cases which we know: smoke, load, stress, spike, and endurance. Okay, so now coming back to the performance testing. So let's start with it. So this is where I am going to introduce JMeter. So now, how JMeter works. So here, as I said last time also, JMeter is not a browser-based test. Okay, it is not executing your JavaScript. It will hit on the IP address and port number, and whatever the response you get it is taking from there. Okay, so that is something. So JMeter works at the protocol level, simulating network request. Okay, protocol level. So here in a JMeter, if you want to simulate user, you have to put it in a thread. So one thread is equal to one user. Okay, so 100 thread is equal to 100 user. Now, so the flow of the JMeter is very simple. You can create a request, save response, the one which you get it, and then using that you can collect the data, different types of data. Okay, so how do we install it? So installation requirement is pretty simple. For learning purpose, you don't have to go for 4 CPU and 16 GB of RAM. It's lesser than is okay, but depends on things. Okay, so JMeter is a Apache product. Okay, mind it. JMeter is a Apache product, and also JMeter is developed in Java. So of course you need a Java. So Java has to be installed any Java application, and also this is not a browser-based application; it's a console-based application. Okay, so which I'll show you in the demo also. Okay, so you have to first install Java, and after that you can download that JMeter from the Apache website, and then structure will be like this. Okay, so let me show you my structure. So I have gone to download JMeter. I have already done so. Java and all it's done in my laptop. So here you can download the tarball or zip file. Both are okay. Okay, and after that, let me show you where I downloaded. C tools JMeter here. So no need to install or something. This is the extracted format. So here you see the start stop script. Here JMeter libraries are there, some docs and some extra files. That's all. Very simple. Now what I will do, this path, I will add in the path environment variable, and which you know that it's common in many tools. So you go here and environment variable path, which is here, edit, and you see here somewhere. This is Maven. I can't locate it though. Yeah, so I might have not done it. So in this case, if you're not doing it, if you're not doing it, this one, so you can add it, this one. Okay, it will be easy like this and done. Okay, okay, but let's say if you're not setting up the path, so directly you can come to this path. Okay, and then to start the JMeter, there is a file here, these two files. So this is for Linux, this is for Windows. But if you set it up in the path, directly you can say JMeter and it will prompt up. You don't have to give the full path. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so let me start this, my JMeter. So I have started the JMeter, and you can see it will take few minutes to come up. Okay, so that is I told you how to run the JMeters. So JMeter, you have some few options. These are the options: test file JMX. So any test cases you create in JMeter is stored in this file. Actually, output is being stored in some folder, and it can be in CSV file or something, log files. Also using -j you can create it. Okay, so now next thing, configuring plugin. This is important. So what is a plugin? So see, this is I'm not sure. I don't understand the logic of designer. So plugin means if you want to get some more feature added in the JMeter, then you have to, of course, you have to have a plugin manager. Okay, there is one tool which is called plugin manager. So that tool is not a part of JMeter. That I don't understand the reason for it. So usually it should be a part of it. So you'll have to search for JMeter plugin manager. Okay, and here is a plugin manager. This will not be a part of the JMeter. So you have to see here, this is jar file. You have to download it and put it in this directory, live.next. So this is the plugin manager. So what this will do? So this plugin manager, using that, okay, once you copy this to here, this directory, then you will get something like this. You can see the screenshot. So you'll get something like this. So plugin manager can be used to install other plugin, other feature of Jmeter. That is a fundamental. So the question is, where can you install? So here you go to this live ext, and now if you see that somewhere I have downloaded already here this this jar file plugin manager. Okay, so remember that you have to do it manually. This plugin manager is not coming up with what is it? Uh, what is it? Uh, Default installations that you have to do that. So because I have already done that, so here I go to option, and here you go to the plugin manager, and here you can install uh, plugins based on your need. Some features, if you want to install it, you can do that. So these are the few plugins which I installed it already, and these are the plugins which is available, and upgrades and all stuff like that. So available plugin, select this one and click apply. That's all, and it will be installed automatically. Internet should be there. So these are the some of the plugins I am recommending you to install it. So remember the step number one, install plugin manager. Using plugin manager, install the some of the plugins, which is this one, custom thread, three groups. These are the important one, though without that also it will work. So these are the new features which you got it in Jmeter. Are you understanding all of you?
Yes.
Okay. So that's all. So I think everything you got it. Now this is the, let me cancel this. This is your console for Jmeter. Okay, and that is what you have to understand. How do we use it? Okay, I know this tool, I mean this UI is little legacy tool, but this is what we have, and very effective by the way. Don't go for the look and feel, but go for the use of this tool. Okay, so now let's talk about how do we configure the test plan. Okay, so here this is the tool, and we need to set up a test plan. So when you set up a test plan, it will look like this. Okay, so right now you probably don't understand. When I'll give you the demo, you'll be able to understand this. So the top component for the JMeter test plan, we call it a test plan. Okay, so can you see that where is the test plan? So if you see here, this is the test plan, and inside that you can have a multiple component. One is you can have a configuration element, one is you can have a thread group, one is you have a listener, and test fragment. So thread group is nothing but a number of thread, that means number of user. So can we go to the and create a thread group? So let me create a thread group here. Add. Here you have so many options. Don't get lost. Thread means users. Thread group. Add it. How many users you want the traffic to be created? So right now I'll go for 10 only. If you go for more than 30, 40, probably your laptop will hang. So be mindful. And this 10 per second loop count infinite. That means I want continuously endurance testing sort of it. You can do that. But many other options are there. Continue, start next thread loop, and so many. So you can go through this. Now inside that you have a one element which you see very carefully under the thread group. You can have a sampler, or you can have a controller. And if you see that inside the controller, you have a sampler again. So what is a sampler? Sampler is the real request information which will make against the application, and timer, which is basically delay the request between the two request, delay the time, delay a few seconds of time between the two requests. But the question is, what is a controller? So controller is basically is like if and else. If you remember that programming language, if is this one, then do this. If it is not like this, then do this. So it's a controller is basically conditioning. So here it's up to you. You can put the controller. Here you have a logic controller. If loop is here, you have a random controller and all. So if some variable is true, do this. And inside the controller you can add a sampler, which is HTTP request I'm using, though you have so many different types of requests. And here, okay, but right now I will not complicate it, very simple. Delete the controller and directly add a sampler, HTTP request. Now this sampler you have to decide on against which website you want to create a traffic. So let me do that. So I'll create one traffic to my website rajeshkumar.xyz. Okay, so here I'll just feed this HTTP. I think it's HTTPS, right? HTTPS, and this is the thing. Port number 80 by default. Path is index.html, like this. All this thing you feed this. That's all. So here I decided 10 users, where to traffic, web application here, and then finally you can introduce the timer also, and so on. Now here you have a listener basically is like all the response will be stored in with the listener. Okay, so there are the different types of listener we have. Let me show you. So here a thread group level, go and listener, and these are the different types of listener. All the reports is coming in one format but display in a different format. So view result tree, one listener. Summary reports I also wanted. uh, I want aggregation report also, and I want these three graph results also. Done. So I created this one, and now I'll save this reports. This is a very basic test. I did it, and now this play button you see, I will create a traffic. So see here, and see my system is hanging in this 10. Okay, let's see that, and then I think it's hanging. Are you able to hear me?
For a few seconds we lost you, but it's okay now.
Okay, my system is hanging. Not sure why. Uh, Let me stop it. I stop the test cases. Okay, I'll reduce the number of users. In 10 users, it should not create a hanging environment, but not sure why. Let's wait for it. Let me close my other applications.
I'm sorry, I just joined the class. Which topic are we creating today?
Jmeter. Okay, so the system is hanged actually. Let's wait for it.
Rajesh, under the controller, what is like pre-post something, and there is assertion also.
Ha. So assertion means I'll talk about it. So assertion means here, if you remember that in Selenium we had assertions again. So assertion means whatever the response you have, you are doing some sort of test whether the response is as per my expectation or not. For example, response code or some content, body content. So you can do that assertions also. Pre and post processor means once the testing is completed, after that, do you want to run some script or something like that? So that is also there. So let me see if my system is now it's coming. Yes. Let me close this slide also. It's required little CPU. So assertion, so now things should be okay. It should not hang this much user. Have to reset. I stopped it. Okay, so I think just give me. Sorry,
This
I missed it.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so what I did, I closed the application, I reopened up and created the same thing, and I was just talking with assertion, how to assert, how to verify whether the response is as per the expectation or not. So here I added assertions like this, add assertions, and here I'm trying to do based on the text response and contains Rajesh or not. So let me save this or run and go to the summary reports, clear this and see this passing now, response passing. So this is the way primarily you can now you can analyze the test results. Here summary reports. So total 212 people have, I mean, thread got created. Okay, and average user per minute is 546. Minimum, maximum, deviation, error, throughput received, and all this stuff. Average request per minute, minimum request, maximum response time. Sorry, average response time, minimum response time, maximum response time, standard deviation, error, and throughput, and so on. Understood, all of you?
Yep.
Okay, so now the question is, where do you use this one? So basically, because you guys are not from the testing background, okay, so you will use for the observability requirement. Uh, observability means anyone have idea? So observability means train. I mean, when you learn Datadog and New Relic, Elastic, all these products, then you have to do the synthetic and APM testing. That's a part of your job actually during the monitoring. When you set up a monitoring, you have to do that. So in that case, you'll need to fake out the traffic, and in that case, this tool will help you a lot. Got it, all of you?
Yes.
Any questions on this?
Actually, I missed it, but I think if you can help with the recording at the end of this class, it will help.
Yeah, yeah, you will have in LMS section. Yeah. Okay, so now next topic, which is a longer one, and that is called Ansible. Okay, so that's a good topic to go through this. So Ansible is very important tool, uh, and every DevOps engineer has to know this.
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.